Hello, fellow vloggers. Today I'm going to show you how to make a vlogging camera out of a standard Sony camera. You may have seen this camera or people talking about this camera, which is a real estate camera. It's used by real estate agents to photograph rooms for selling properties, basically. Now, as you may know, quite a popular vlogger out there called Pirillo uses this camera, although he hasn't talked much about it except directing you to the website. And the website is hdhatstore.com. That's www.hdhatstore.com. And basically, you can buy this setup for $299. However, if you're based in the UK, you will have to obviously order this overseas from America. Now, as another vlogger said previously, it cost him £50 in import duty. So if you're adding that on to $300 plus postage on top of that, more than likely, you're probably talking near enough to £400. I'll get you the figures for that anyway, for how much it probably would have cost. I'll just put that in a minute. So, the task I'm setting myself is, can I do a similar setup to what they've done, but at half the price? The situation is, I've bought basically a new camera, and I'm going to show you how to basically make that on a budget. Now, all the parts I've got are coming are very cheap. Basically, I've ordered a good lens, a good enclosure, which is this part here, and a few adapter rings, which are these rings here. And I'm hoping that I can show you how to do that setup, but at a much lower price. So, as you follow me building this, I hope this video will show you another way. Instead of being lazy, and sorry about that, instead of being lazy and just ordering it from HD Hat Store, you can actually build it yourself. And to be honest, it's not that difficult. The tools you'll probably need will be some sort of grinder, because there is some grinding that you need to do on one of the adapter rings. I will show you how to do that. However, if you don't have a grinder, you could purchase a very cheap filer and do it by hand, but obviously it would take a lot more work and effort. So, let's see how it's going to be done. I just wanted to give Fluctibus Flood a bit of credit, because it was his video that sort of inspired me, thinking maybe I can do a better job than HD Hat can do. So I thought, what I need is a lens. I need a tube in between the lens and my zoom lens. I need some sort of an adapter ring to fit on the 52 to 52mm. I need some sort of an adapter ring that'll fit on the 55 to 52 adapter that I'll glue on the actual camera. What I needed was a 55 to 52 a stepping ring. I needed a 52mm to 55mm ring that I could grind down and glue onto my camera. And also I needed the camera itself, and I need to glue that on there. One more thing I needed, a bit of glue. If any of you guys don't know what glue they're recommended, it's called shoe glue. So please follow me and watch me create the camera that Chris Pirillo uses, but I will be making it myself, not using HD hat and getting ripped off at the same time with import duty, postage and the cost. You see, I've come from a photographic background and I know the lens they're using are just your bog standard basic 72mm lenses, which are cheap and nasty ones. Some Polaroid, they're using Polaroid and they're using Vivitar. The Vivitar lens I have here is the premium one, the better one, the quality one. So if you want to get yourself this, check out my review of this lens on my videos, and you'll be able to see the exact model, because I have been quite in depth on the unboxing. So stay tuned and watch me create the Chris Pirillo camera. So, the first thing we need is the WX80 Sony Cybershot camera. The full title is Cybershot DSC-WX80, and the camera you would be using is basically this little thing here. As you can see, it's a lot smaller than I thought it would be. Here's the camera. It's quite small, in fact smaller than I thought it'd be. To give you an example of how big it is, I've got just a basic standard card which is about the same size as the credit card, and obviously you can see it's only a little bit bigger than a credit card, so it's really small. Now, one thing you need to take into account is the lens size. Now, I found little people telling anyone about how big it is and what you need to look for. But basically, you need some way of enclosing that lens so it doesn't get damaged. And this is the first stage, basically, getting hold of the camera. Hello, here's just a quick overview and review of the Sony Cybershot DSC-WX80. Basically what it says on the box is it's a 16.2 megapixel CMOS sensor, 8 times optical zoom going up to 16 times. Obviously the other 8 times on that is digital. It has a 25mm wide angle lens in a 35mm format. It supports full HD movie at 1920 by 180, and it's also got Wi-Fi as well, which means you can actually connect this device remotely to a smartphone and see what you're filming, basically. And that's basically the Cybershot camera itself. Obviously, I'll turn it on so you get an idea. It does come out approximately 2.5 centimeters at its wide angle settings. However, if you go to maximum zoom, it goes out approximately 4 centimeters. So if you was to think about putting any sort of lens on top of that, you need to take these dimensions into consideration. You know, if you decide to attach a lens to it. For the most part, the camera is extremely good, has variable settings on it, and obviously I'm happy to obviously go through those with you. Now, still image size in dual recording mode, you've got wide angle 12 megapixels as well as 3 megapixels. Movie quality, standards of HQ, which is 1440 by 180. We've got an FH mode, which is 1920 by 180, and an FX mode, which records in the highest image quality at 1920 by 180. Then you've got face detection. You've got automatic, focus with priority on children's faces, and you've got adult priority, focus with priority on adults' faces. Then you can choose your exposure compensation. You can obviously go from -2 to +2 in terms of f-stop, so it gives you the facility of changing your exposure, going up and down, basically. Then we've obviously got the facility to send to a computer. You can do that through Wi-Fi. Because it's got built-in Wi-Fi, it means it's quite versatile and useful. And obviously you can go through to a smartphone as well through Wi-Fi, which is quite handy. You've got soft skin effect. You can have it off, you can have low, you can have mid, and you can have high. Easy is just obviously quickly to take the picture, you know. And also you can choose scenes, and in that selection you've got shoot more beautiful skin, shoot subject with soft background, reduce blur with shooting in low light without flash, landscape mode, correct shadow detail, shoot portraits low light with flash, so that's probably good for nights. We've got shoot low light scene using a tripod. We've got shoot low light scene with noise reduction, no tripod. Shoot without flash in low light, reducing blur. We've got natural shot of food. We've got a pet shooting mode, which is shoot pets with best settings. We've got a beach mode, because obviously sand sometimes is notoriously difficult to photograph. Shoot waterside scene with rich blue colour. Then we've got snow, shoot white scenes with high brightness. Shooting snow is very difficult. That's why sometimes you need to assess. Shoot fireworks scenes. That's at night time, obviously. Shooting fireworks is very difficult because you don't have much of a time to search for, shoot fireworks, because the light is, very short for periods of time. So sometimes you have to set up that for that. Shoot images that can be displayed on 3D TVs in 3D. You've got auto exposure with adjustable settings. Superior auto, which shoots sharp image, reducing blur and noise automatically. And exposure adjustments with automatic settings. And obviously you can choose your resolutions. We've got smile detection sensitivity from low, normal and high. Smile shutter on or off. Scene recognition. Continuous shooting intervals. This camera has a facility of also shooting a panoramic image, so it'll take lots of different pictures in a quick sequence, so you can get a panoramic view of where you are, which I don't use very often, but it can be handy. And obviously there's various settings for the still image sizes. We've got 16 megapixels at 4.3, 10 megapixels, 5 megapixels, VGA quality. Then it moves up to 16.9, which is 12 megapixels widescreen, and widescreen at 2 megapixels as well. Those are your options with your still. We've also got a toolkit section for looking at what the movie format is going to be. Autofocus illuminator, grid line, clear image zoom, digital zoom, wind noise reduction. So you can turn that on if you're shooting in a windy location, so you're picking up good sound, because this camera also records good audio. Check out my other videos if you want to see some samples of this in action. Blink alert, write data, beep, panel brightness, language settings, display color, demo mode, initialize, function grid, USB connect settings, USB power supply. You do get a cable and a power supply with this, so you always got facility to do what you need to do for charging. Download music, empty music, airplane mode, power save version. Basically the list goes on what you can do. You can format your memory card, create folders, delete folders. The list is endless what you can really do. Area settings, home, date and time settings, summertime. So you can have it so the time and date is actually on the picture as well. So that may be useful. As a professional photographer though, you probably won't have much use for that. And that's basically a roundup of all the settings that you've got to do. You can use. Obviously we've got movie quality sizes such as FX, we've got recording high image quality FH, which is 1920 by 180 50i, and we've also got recording standard image quality of 1440 by 180 50i. That's movie image quality. Obviously there's a movie shutter shot on this, so it can compensate for camera shake. There's also an in-camera guide actually in the camera, which is quite handy. And basically the camera is really handy, has inbuilt flash. Don't know what else more I can tell you about the camera. I purchased this up second hand for 50 quid, but it's retailing for around £115 new off eBay and Amazon. And the model number is DSC WX80. You know, if you want to check out my videos, you know, I'll do a test video so you guys can see the footage, and I'll label it as test on one of my videos so you know the actual test. And I just hope you know, like the footage, and basically it's a good little camera to have. You know, it has a really nice big screen. On the back you've got a wheel and a dial so you can change like exposures and, you know, that sort of thing. You've got basically a selector button here for picture, panoramic view and video. But if you ever want to just do a quick video, the movie icon there with red on it, you just click on that and it'll start recording straight away. You won't need to press the shutter button there. And then that button there is for playing anything such as music, video. That's on the memory card. There's a menu button there, and there's also basically a waste basket bin there for deleting stuff you don't want. On this side we've got basically your micro USB port there for charging, for a little flap. Those little things that you can see there are like holes for putting a strap. Basically on the bottom we've got a mini HDMI port for connecting to a TV, and you can actually open the flap that reveals the memory card slot and the battery. The battery lasts quite a while. There's also a standard tripod mount there, and that's basically the camera in question. And my review of it is, I'm not a fan of Sony normally because I prefer Canon, but this camera I can't really fault it. It does the job. It's very portable, very small and handy, and that's my Sony Cybershot camera. So I hope this review was insightful. What else you get in the box apart from the charger? You get some sort of guarantee card, get a digital still camera instructional manual, which obviously tells you about all the various functions, and then you get a Wi-Fi connection guide. You also get some sort of Sony register leaflet for the guarantee, and that's basically everything you get with it. So I hope this review was helpful. If you're wondering what that ring is that I've attached to the camera, because it doesn't have one in the picture, it's because I've adapted this camera a little bit, but see my other videos for that and I'll talk you through the rest of that. Okay, we're back here again. I thought we'd discuss this camera a little bit. here we have my iPhone, and I thought I'd give you an idea of how big it is in comparison. So it's a little bit smaller than the iPhone 4S. In terms of size, but obviously it's a bit thicker. Hi guys, just wanted to show you that it functions on the Sony camera. You can actually connect this to a tablet or a smartphone. I just wanted to show you what it can do. And as you can see, you're seeing what the camera's seeing through Wi-Fi. And it's quite handy. I just wanted to give you an example what it can do. It can connect to any smartphone, any iPhone, I suspect probably an iPad, and any sort of Android tablet. Here you can see the Samsung Galaxy 2 tab. It's working quite fine. All you have to do is download the Sony Play Memories app from the App Store, either from iTunes App Store or the Android Play, Google Play App Store. So I just wanted to show you the benefits of Wi-Fi, and obviously you can do blogging quite easily, but also having the facility to monitor what you're looking at through Wi-Fi on your camera, because the screen isn't that big. You know, you can see yourself, and I just wanted to show you what it looks like, and I hope you enjoyed this little review of this camera. Hello, here we have an unboxing of a Vivitar wide angle lens. Now the seller has described it as a Vivitar 52mm 0.43x wide angle macro lens, HD3 multi-coated 72mm front thread. The manufacturer is Vivitar. It's professional wide angle, professional lens, HD3 optics, anti-reflection coating, 2 elements, 2 groups, fully multi-coated, digital advanced technology, black titanium series, high definition in original box. And basically it's a ultra wide angle lens, and I'm just going to do an unboxing. This is one of the higher quality ones you can buy, rather than the cheap manufacturer ones you can obviously purchase. So I'm just going to do an unboxing. Obviously you can see it gives you some basic information on the side. Wide angle lens, 0.43x wide angle lens for use of SLR and digital camcorder, video photography, anti-reflective multi-coated steel barrel design, infrared compatible, high definition digital lens, high gloss finish, high speed. The package content: wide angle lens, carrying case, caps and warranty card, and 5-year warranty. And that's basically the details on the box. We open it up, it reveals a nice Vivitar little pouch. It reveals a little instruction manual, which just tells you the basics of what you're getting really. And then you get a limited edition warranty card. It says Vivitar Series 1 limited edition owner's card, and according to this, only 116 have been made. Let's have a look at the lens in a little bit more detail. So we've got a little pouch for the lens. Let's take the lens out, and this is the lens. So it basically it's got a lens cap for the front, and on the back it has a rear cap. So you've got two caps that protect the front and back, and then you've got your standard wide angle lens here, with typically in these lenses you have a screw for the macro facility. You can see that says macro on there, and it comes in two sections, and that's your lens, and that's the macro part, and obviously it screws in the set way back on. On the lens it says HD Pro Vivitar Series 1 0.43x high definition wide angle lens with macro Japan optics. It says HD Pro Vivitar Series 1 0.43x high definition wide angle lens with macro Japan optics. Macro. Anyway, there you go. That's the lens I purchased. It's a wide angle lens. You can purchase this on eBay. The item number is 3605493733942. The seller who sells this particular product is called VCC113. Keep in mind, if you're living abroad, like I am in the UK, if you order something like this, you may incur import duty. This particular lens set me back around £24, and it cost me an additional £13 to get that through customs. So just keep that in mind when you do order something like this. Basically the rear thread on the back of this is 52mm. So you can attach that to any sort of stepping ring or tube that's got a 52mm thread on it basically. The front part is 72mm, so you can attach any sort of filters. Problem with such a large lens is filters of that size do tend to be quite expensive. Keep that in mind when you're using a big lens. And that's my review and unboxing. And that's my unboxing of this lens. Keep tuned to my other videos to see my project on how to make a crisp Pirillo vlogging camera. And thank you for your time. Bye bye. as you can see, we're going to have to file down this outer ring here. As you can see, it's 52mm to 55mm. But what we have to do is we need to file the groove for the inner part of this adapter. So once we've filed that down, we'll have a largish surface to basically glue onto the camera. So in effect, if I bring the camera closer to the lens, we're looking for something like that on top. As you can see, it doesn't quite fit, so there's going to be a bit of filing I'll need to do in order to get it to fit, and I'll show you that in a bit. But my next stage is going to be to basically grind down this. If you don't have a grinder, you can use a file and do it manually. It'll take a lot longer, granted, but it should work okay. Right guys, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to, I've been already made a start, but I'm filing down the actual groove and the thread basically of the adapter ring, and we're going to get it flush so we can glue it onto the camera, and we'll see how that goes. Okay guys, now you can see the silver ring there. So what I've done is I've ground off all the thread on the other side. We're talking about the 52mm thread basically. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if it fits on the camera. It's a bit tight at the moment, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to see about filing off as much as I can. Maybe filing off a little bit on the inside, and then it'll fit. Okay, alright guys, I'm actually filing that ring with a standard file to get rid of any loose bits and bobs, and then obviously we can glue it on the back then. But it is a bit rough at the moment, so what I'm going to have to do is file inside there a little bit, make a little bit of room, and then that should pop on the front of the camera lens, and then we'll be able to glue it. Right guys, after you're finished, it should look something like that, and just keep filing away until basically you can see silver, because underneath obviously all it is really black paint. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to get yourself a flat surface so you can glue it onto the lens so it'll stay on there. This will take a long time, so keep at it, and try not to do too much in one area, because the last thing you want to do is ruin the ring stepping adapter. Right guys, once you've done that, I don't know if you can see in there that I've obviously sorry, other way. Right, once you've done that, you can see I've more or less flattened it off. And basically, it's having trouble fitting. So I'll just show you. That's the camera, of course. Now, obviously, I've filed it off, but it's having trouble fitting. As you can see, it's not quite going in. You see that? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to file around the edges with this round filer. Quite handy. Get them from a DIY shop, and hopefully it'll fit then. Right guys, something I forgot to mention. Right, you see the camera there, yeah? Well, you see the camera there, there's a white sensor there. Now the problem is, if I put that on, that's going to block that. So what we need to do is drill a tiny hole so that sensor can see. So that's what I'm going to do next. We're just going to drill a hole into the adapter ring, and that should be for the sensor. Hello guys, as you can see I've drilled a hole out, and that's for the sensor so it can autofocus when we put the new lens on. And you just need to be careful when drilling it. And there you go. Right, we're going to let that set for 30 minutes and then try and get some of the excess off, and then leave it for about 6 hours to set. Okay guys, this is as promised my Sony Cybershot DSC WX80 camera. It's also been adapted to look very similar to the HD hat camera kit you can buy. Basically this is very similar to the camera that Chris Pirillo uses in his vlogging, and I just wanted to show you the key components. If you want to see how I made this, just view one of my other videos, do a quick search and you'll find it. And I've done a series of videos on how I went about making this. Now you could purchase the kit from HD Hat for about $300. If you was to bring this into the UK, you're talking about £50 import duty on top of that. What you're talking about is maybe £30 to £40 to actually get it to the UK in terms of postage. So I just wanted to show you my camera. Obviously it's based on the Cybershot WX80 camera, and I'll talk you through the key components. If you want to watch one of my other videos, I'll show you how I make this, because I believe that I could get it and I could build it cheaper than HD Hat have done. So without further ado, I will break it down to its key components. Now first of all, we have the camera. Now what I basically had to do was get a 52mm to 55mm stepping ring, drill a hole in it, glue it on, and that's what I've done. Glue the stepping ring to the camera, and obviously it's on there quite secure, can't come off very easily. So that's the camera. Then we have the camera lens. The camera lens is a Vivitar HD Pro Vivitar Series 1 43x high definition wide angle lens with macro Japan optics. It's quite a high quality lens this. I think it's limited edition. Did get this on eBay, and I'll give you the details in the description on how to get hold of one. Obviously this lens comes in two parts, which you've got a wide angle lens part and you've got a macro lens part, which means you can film close up basically. The second part of that lens, of the assembly, is basically an extension, two extension parts to make the lens long enough, because the problem I had was I needed a way of fixing the lens and the camera approximately like that on there. You can see that, because if I didn't do that, this lens would damage that, because you couldn't just screw it straight on. So I needed to figure out a way of how to adapt this, because what HD Hat have done is they've come up with some sort of adapter and built an adapter that fits on there, so it wouldn't damage the lens once you put it on. Now I had to figure out how do I find one, and it was quite difficult, because looking on the internet it wasn't that easy and straightforward to figure out what I needed. Some sort of extension in between the camera lens and the lens that's actually on the camera, so it wouldn't damage the lens and it would mount on there without any problems. As you can see, it's just the right size. So I had to figure out size, because basically this lens comes out from the camera when it's set to wide angle at 2.5 centimeters, 3 or 4 millimeters on there, and then with this added we've got 21 millimeters. So in total we've got around 2.5 centimeters that basically covers the lens, which allows us to attach the 72mm wide angle lens. I have got the camera that Chris Pirillo uses now, but I believe my lens at the end here, because it's a limited edition double coated optics from Vivitar, that's the company that make them. You may not know this, but obviously Vivitar don't make great lenses, unlike Canon and Nikon. When I was at college, I learnt about cameras and lenses, and I certainly knew that Vivitar wasn't a well-known brand for making lenses. However, they are a lot cheaper. If you want to have a look at my other video on how I went about making this, please do so. It'll tell you a bit more about how I went about getting the parts and how I made it. And that's your basic camera really. You've got a wide angle lens, then you've got basically 2 extension parts, and 1 stepping ring, and obviously there's one stepping ring on the camera glued on. The glue I used was something called hopeyou, and obviously that is quite a strong glue for holding the camera on the it's quite a strong glue for holding the lens onto the camera, and that's basically the key parts of this particular camera. I hope this video has been helpful. It tells you what the main parts you need. Please do watch my other video about how I go about making this camera. Hello guys, something I forgot to mention, so I didn't want to miss it out, so I wanted to add a bit more footage for you so you guys can basically have a look. What I didn't mention is, in the hdhat.com kit that they do, it comes with some sort of mini monopod, which is basically like a tripod, but it's just one leg really, but a lot shorter, you know. And I wanted to show you something I got, which was the equivalent. This only cost about £5, which you can see there is just a little extender arm. I'll show you what it looks like in a minute. Now, as one of the other people who've recently reviewed the hdhat kit, one of the problems they've come across is, if you have a look there, you can see that the tripod mount there, if you was to try and put something on there, it would actually hit the stepping ring, and if you were to put pressure on it, could dislodge it, and obviously all that trouble you got into gluing, all that trouble you went to glue it would be a waste of time. So I thought it's a bit of a problem, but before I show you that, I'll just unbox the monopod and you have an idea. Right, here's the little mini monopod. This can extend quite long actually, so you know, it's quite long. The monopod that comes with the hdhat kit doesn't extend, so I think this is 10 times better in that respect. Now, if you was to screw this on there, as you can see, if you try and screw it on, it's touching and it's not screwed all the way in. So that, if you kept screwing, would probably push this up, and obviously gluing it would be a total waste of time and you'd probably damage it, you know. So I thought, how can I get around this problem? Now, the solution I came up with was some sort of like a tripod adapter. Basically it extends a little bit more distance there. So as you can see, if you screw that in there like that, like so, now that's in there pretty sturdy. Now you can see there's a gap there, so it's not gonna dislodge that glued ring. So then if we screw that back onto the adapter, also with this little monopod thing I've got, I can actually swivel as well. So I hope those little extras that I've shown you shows you a way of getting around the problem. Which I believe resolves the problem. And I believe my little kit here is actually better than the HD hat kit that they offer, because this is actually better than the monopod they sell. Now obviously the one they're selling is a bit more chunky than this and might seem better quality, but to be honest, this is just as good. And because of this adapter, I will never damage the adapter ring, unlike their monopod, which if you put it on there, and in fact other people have reviewed that monopod, and when they try and screw it in, they think, oh no, it's damaging that. So I just wanted to quickly show you these little extras. In terms of the adapter ring here, this adapter, that's off eBay and that cost me a couple of quid. Like I said, this is a £5 and this extends quite a lot. It actually weighs 500 grams and it extends from 20 centimeters to 97 centimeters, nearly a meter, so it's quite long. So that's just a little extra video I thought I'd do, so you guys can see the few extras that I'd have bought for it. And hope you liked it.